Oh, I'm reading the thing. It's already been live for 10 seconds. I have no idea how the audio actually is. Taking a different approach today, doing multiple forms of self-care at the same time as a channeled message. So let's play with this. Here we have some infused oil. This is primarily macadamian, olive, and some pikake. And I'm just gonna make my skin slick. I am safe. I am thankful. I am present in this moment. Got a little map here. Do I turn the current? No, I think so. Taking a deep breath. I'm using the curve side. Why? I guess I could use the side I've got. That feels better actually. Using the same like convex side feels better. So today we're here to talk about. I gave myself a title, but it didn't show up here, so we'll see how it goes. Alchemy. Taking what you've got and creating so much more. Releasing the pressure off of yourself. When something comes in a form that you don't really approve of, right? You don't really prefer. You can feel it breaking up all the little things in there. It feels good. That muscle never feels relaxation. You see, I could have taken this time to not even admit that I'm into alchemy, that I'm into it, right? Into transmutation, taking that holy space that is the self and creating so much more. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So how you want to alchemize that, right? So there's multiple ways why we experience negative experiences like this. Like I had my ex-husband cheat on me, and you know, gaslight me and the whole runaround. And I saw that as a pattern from my youth and my abandonment and my betrayal, that sense from, you know, the paternal representation. So maybe you might have something to work on with the parent, the inner parent, right? The trauma with that and how to alchemize that. Women cheat and men cheat for different reasons. And I'm sorry that happened to you. That also shows something about their space and what they're healing with. So there's many different forms of alchemy. Hello, Russia. There's many different forms of alchemy. There's the, you know, physical alchemy, right? Which is the expansion of one molecule and turning it into another. However, this takes like the addition or subtraction of like neutrons and all kinds of stuff like that. Hey there, France. Okay. Breaking up all the flash in my chin, you could tell me if I'm less puffy than I started. It doesn't say which side to use. Well, that's unnecessary. Hate himself is a top thing, right? There's some nonsense down here. You don't get to be a moderator. But, so the reason I erased that comment is because where am I from? Earth. Don't you know we all affect each other? What's my specialty? What's anybody's specialty? It's abroad. Abroad. I make things. I be things. I'm spiritually aware, right? Sorry, I don't know why I decided to do the self-care and the channel message at the same time. I don't know what I was thinking. It's not like physically possible to really get into this feeling. Just and be present at the same time. So this is breaking up all the fascia around the scalp. Oh, thanks. I actually had a whole message I was supposed to come on here and do. But the self-care part. Like I'm stretching, it's about bedtime here. Oh, I can feel some of the puffiness gone. I should drink some water. Concealer? No, this is more about exposure. It's more about opening up. This is a body oil. Primarily macadamia nuts and olive and pikake, which is a Hawaiian jasmine. It's really good for the skin and it helps the gua sha glide. Can you hear me pretty good, or you just hear the music, or how's the balance? I can't really tell, you know? I thought about getting a mic. Oh my goodness. What do I want? There's like some stuff in the glands right here. Okay, it's quiet. Oh, my name? Ooh, April, actually. April and August. Or July. It's still July, right? You told me you love me, but you lie. You liar. Anyway. Okay. Oh, that felt fantastic. So, alchemy. What is divine alchemy? It's reclaiming the power of the self, reclaiming the autonomy and the sovereignty of the individual. Alchemy. The space where you create what you know and what you've known into something more. No, my name is April, not July. Yes. There's so many reasons to remember your power. And the main one is because you haven't yet reached, we, the human species, have not yet reached our pinnacle. And our pinnacle will be our evolution. And that evolution is now. If you look at life like stuff, like science would have you believe it's just stuff, right? And what's that stuff made of? Molecules. And those molecules are made of atoms. And those atoms are made of individual particles. And those particles, especially the electron, it moves in a calculated orbit, right? And so at any moment in this calculated orbit, the electron can be anywhere in the orbit. Now, when they studied photons of light, which are similar to electrons, they noticed, and once they started to see this study, you can't hear me? Okay, I'll talk a little louder. I'm gonna try a mic system. A mic system. It's not a mic system. It's a headphones. Let's see if it works. Okay, I think. How's my sound now? Is that better? Do I sound better? Uh oh. Nope. Let me disconnect this real quick. If I. How do I turn it off? I gotta turn the Bluetooth off, right? Okay. Can you hear me? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, meditation maybe. Cool, cool. Let me see. Let me press play. I got this really cool sound therapy thing going on in the background. You might like it. Sound healing for the energy body. In my voice, just explaining the whole cosmos and the universe, alchemy, right? I'm big on epigenetic reprogramming, the act of conscious shifting and changing, choosing to change the response, and in doing so, shifting the epigenetic signature, right? Because you have to do it with consistency for that part of the DNA to be, oh, thank you. It's a dress. I got it. Of the internet. Thanks for that gift card, Ma. Um, okay. So the alchemy of the universe. That's right. The alchemy of truth. Truth. Reclaiming power. Reclaiming power. They say knowledge is power, but in the sense that knowledge gives the brain something to do while it is creating more, while it is understanding and allowing the body to actually flow in and out of, I don't know, whatever you want to call this moment, right? The photon of light was shown when shot through the laser to land anywhere in a large range when unobserved. When observed, is shot in a straight line. Mahalo nui loa. So, by the nature of the experiment and by the study of atoms and the place of the electrons and their electron placement, They pop in and out of existence. They're not privy to control unless directed energy to. When you direct energy, when you direct focus, that means slowing down, allowing for space. You can allow for the shift in the pull of the photons of light of the electron orbit and its location to the atom itself, to the structure of the DNA. Now, there are studies, and you can look up them, you can look them up right now, about meditation and how meditation can actually change and shift what proteins and hormones are being produced within the cell. If we can consciously shift how we respond to different stresses, how we respond to joy, we can actually create a new way of being. Spaces for abundance and fertility, creativity, art, music, technology that actually helps sustain us. It's a gift that we can give ourselves. If you can give yourself the gift of concentration, you can give yourself power. You can give yourself eternal light into your way of being. Oh, thank you. Um, when we shift our consciousness and our focus to that which we desire, want to create, also alchemizing pain and doing the shadow work so that we can actually understand the reflections that we're experiencing in our day to day interactions with others. This space is the space where you can have power. If you take a moment from the reaction and you sit in the space of the emotion and you let it come and stink up the room for a minute, you can shift your perspective so your body no longer holds the energy of the intense emotion. And then that itself creates more. Do I believe in sage or crystal? I don't understand your question. Um, I believe nothing, and I trust and know that the Almighty is here with us now. God is everywhere you look. And for those of whom that offends, Goddess is everywhere you look. And those for whom this offends, I believe that all plants have medicine, and that is one of sage's medicines. Do you believe in the healing properties of sage and the purifying capabilities and cleansing it can do? When you know how to use an herb properly, and you've been given that kuleana or that responsibility by your ancestors to carry that knowledge, yes. Do I believe in the commodification of an herb and its non cultural or traditional uses, no. Because often people will go through, because I had an ex go through and copy the rituals that were taught to me. Aloha. And when they did that, they encountered energies and spirits that they didn't necessarily mean to, but they did. Well, thank you. I mostly feel tired. I was told pretty is as pretty does. So, you know, by their works you shall know them. Um, Character. Sage, yes, it's a good herb. But use what you know. Start with where you are and what your foundation of strengths are. People want to adapt other people's practices. But if it's part of your blood, go for it. If it's not part of your blood, you know, pray and do muscle testing or how you figure out answers. Read your book of choice, right? Your holy book of choice. We're all here right now to have the best possible life. We're here calling heaven on earth, right? This is the golden age. Well, this is the ending of the dark ages, right? And the dark ages is always kind of ridiculous. Freaking circus that they put on. But the goal is to, my goal is to help humanity evolve, right? So if you teach a person conceptually alchemy and how to handle and learn their emotions and how other people are navigating their emotions, there's a possibility of creating more balanced humanity. Because right now, people are living in the trauma and they're perpetuating trauma in a sense that is self destructive. So, when I see self destruct, I understand it because I've been there before. But I'm not going to let you take me down with me. My ex mother in law was awesome. She taught me how to swim. And she taught me a lot of things about psychology of people um, when they're in fear, especially when they're like drowning or something. If they think they're going to drown, they're going to kick you and claw you and scratch at you. And that's what a lot of people do because a lot of people are still waking up and out of their suffering. And when they take their power back, even in that one moment, that breath, the imagery of the atom and the electron popping in and out of existence, them taking the time to notice, to breathe, to feel into this moment, the now, you actually have an opportunity to create healing, create space, create reflection that's a different perspective than your own. Because if you got yourself into it with the same patterns and habits, you most likely will have a difficult time getting out of that with the same patterns and habits. You have to push yourself into a different paradigm. It can be smooth, it can be comfortable, it can be by choice. And it is by choice. Being awake when the rest of the world is sleeping can feel awkward and uncomfortable. But if you're aware of how big the world is, the possibility of the lights, the electrons, the bodies of water, as we are, such as we are, the bodies of water, there has to be more than one. And that's where we have the synergy effect of building these fields, these energy fields, right? Taking back our power in a way that our energy shifts. So there's a lot of sayings, there's a lot of colloquialisms, and some of them I like, and some of them I really do not like. So because I do not like them, I have changed them and alchemized them for myself. There are several ways to skin a cat. Worst saying ever. And because I don't like that, say there's several ways to get to the number 9. Because there really are. Multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. You can like cube root, square root, do all kinds of qubit. There are so many ways to get to the number 9. Just as there are so many ways to get to our heaven on earth and the conscious co-evolution of humanity. So, the same way that you can feel into the concept within the mind, you can also feel into the energy bodies and the energy fields of yourself and others. We're entering into an era where there are so many of us that it's easy to share our consciousness. It's always been easy, especially for the young. But those that have been crystalline in fear and darkness and all this randomness, their systems are going to have a more complicated shock with this. So just let yourself feel into the space around you, the air hitting your body. Think of light. Hmm? And it sits about a foot outside of your entire body, whether you're stretched out or in a little ball or sitting down, there's an egg of light around you. And that light goes from silver to gold to rose gold into this nice pearl opalescent shell. And inside this shell is your energy, the right outside of your skin, out to the tip of the edge of this egg. You can feel the air as it caresses your skin, as it sits upon you. You can feel it get heavier and thicker. And if you can, just sway around a little bit. Let your back sway. Let your, maybe you can move your hands too if you want. Move your hands through the air. Now feel that air get heavier, thicker, thick like water, thick like milk, thick like cream, thick like yogurt. It's heavy and sitting. And this is your energy. This is where you can feel your emotions. This is where you can see and experience others' energy when they come close to you or attempt to come to touch you, right? Now, if you allow this egg to be your moment of power, allow this energy to be your energy field. What is your energy field telling you? Is it time to go to sleep? Like it is over here? Oh, I have so little many hours. So little many hours of sleep. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out just a bit. There we go. You're gonna have a nice night. You're gonna enjoy that closing meditation and that building and sealing of your field. And you can feel when other people come up towards your field and their energy is off. And you can feel when their energy is right and happy and loving you. Alright, well, on that note, peace and hair grease. Just kidding. That should not be my outro. Peace and hair grease, y'all. Um, mm, Love. Did we talk about everything? The release of fear. That was the last part, right? The it okay. It was about alchemy. Should have wrote it down. I thought it was gonna be on the screen because it was like the title. Oh, anyway, alchemy. The reclaiming of your power, and the releasing of fear. Okay, so there are similar responses in the body, especially in the brain, that if you've built up anxiety or you've built up fear, this is a similar pathway for excitement and um, like you know when you release and you surrender and you keep expanding the capacity of your nervous system after you've done your shadow work, you can expand your nervous system into letting things just be more joyful, letting things just feel good, letting yourself understand that this moment is important and you are the gift the earth gives herself, right? You're safe. It's your time. When you have a fear pop up, like an anxiety, you take the breath, you expand the system, you realize the system is mostly space anyway, and you reframe the fear, especially when it's not a real logical fear. If you are in a place where you're being abused or something is happening to you, definitely get help and get out of that situation. But if you're in a space where you're comfortable and the fear is irrational or it's doing something you've always wanted to do, or maybe you haven't been recognized for something, so you self sabotage. This is why the shadow work part is important, right? Whether it's a fear of abandonment you don't want to talk to, or deal with love in a new way. You're not ready yet, at least that's what you think. You breathe and you know and you make space for more. You trust that there's space and there's time for more and that it's for you. You're angry, you feel the rage comes up. It's not actually the rage related to the situation, it's rage related to the point where you weren't allowed to do that, or maybe that messed with your nervous system, or somebody abused you, or something. There's always systems and patterns that can be unraveled. And when you unravel them for yourself, in the breath, you create the space for more. You allow the electron to show up where you want it to, not wherever it's going to go, which is going the rage pathway or these old patterns or like this depression or the self destruct. It's saying, I've never experienced this before. That's okay. I'm going to allow for it and I'm going to create something more and it's going to be beautiful and I trust it. And if it's not, I'll still keep creating because I know it's going to be beautiful. I know I have to. I know this is my mission. So you start to eat that fear up in its tracks and it no longer serves you. I mean, it's never, I mean, it served you for a time, right? For survival as a child or something. Or maybe it's something passed down to you that it's irrational and you're not even aware that you're carrying such an ingrained, in depth, numb out or coping mechanism that was given to you upon your gestation, your fertilization by your ancestors. Right? Because the egg that was created, that is you. So you are carrying that which your parents had at the moment you were created, and their parents, and so on and so forth. And these things pass down generations, and that's why certain things show up and skip generations, and all these really interesting levels of trauma response and irrational fear. But if you're able to create space and alchemize, which is basically the healing of the generational curses, you will. It's you. You are the gift. If you made it this far, congratulations. You just got a whole new setup for life. because everything you want is not yours. Now breathe and give the space to know that it's there. And it's a matter of you meeting up with that frequency because it's a matter of consistency of energetics and frequency to align with it and to align and line up that photon of energy, that directed energy, but without attachment, right? Because as much as we think we can control the electron and where it's going to land on the wall, pointing the laser, right now we're working with anecdotal evidence, right? So you give yourself little pieces of confirmation along the way so that you can keep on your process and trust that you're doing the work because you are. Okay, so I think I'm really done this time. I think I hit all the points. I had my self care, stretched my arm out, my little thing. The person asked where I was. I said Earth. I'm not going to be difficult. I'm in Hawaii. Why would I film on a beach in Hawaii, you ask? Ain't nobody got mics for that. No, somebody does somewhere. I'm working on it, but it's not about filming on a beach in Hawaii. It's about what I can do for the land and the people here. I was called here, prayed, and was told to come here. And either I'm a gift to this land, and perhaps it has gifts for me. And that's kind of how it's been flowing this whole time. I'm learning a lot about myself and growing as an adult, as a parent. You know how weird it is to be like, I am a 40-year-old adult, and I will do things that's adult like. When you're like, I remember being a kid. Does everybody feel like that? I think so. But at a certain point, you take responsibility for what it is you're doing, and you're not just hungry, hippoing, consuming things that are unsustainable for all of us as a species. Okay? That's my hint to you. Get it together. Wild. Alright. I love you. As what Leo says, looking at herself. I love you. I will see you next live. I'll do it next Monday. Why not? Okay. Good night. I don't think I stopped it. I don't think I know how. It's okay. I'll figure it out. Any more questions? Oh, any more questions? Okay. Ah, is that something? Is that anything? I don't know.